Hey class, hello. So today's lesson is on art therapy. So we're going to start by doing an activity. Pick up 2 crayons, doesn't matter what color. And for this activity, you're just basically going to wave the crayons in the air, but you're going to wave them around to the tune of Happy Birthday. After you go through the Happy Birthday song one time, with waving the crayons in the air, you're going to do it again, but you're going to doodle on your paper, okay? So I'll just demonstrate it one time for you. Okay? Now on your papers. That was basically just an icebreaker, just to kind of get everybody in the mood to do art therapy. So, I am Ava Oliver, and again, today's lesson is going to be on art therapy. So, does anyone know what art therapy is?
It's art therapy where you use art to help. Demonstrate art therapy for art. Therapy uses art.
So this lesson will focus on helping students understand the use of art therapy as a technique in treating children coping with divorce by demonstrating art therapy and interpreting the art. For our learning objectives, we will understand art therapy, demonstrate art therapy, and interpret color in art. What is art therapy? According to the American Art Therapy Association, art therapy is the use of art creation as a form of psychotherapy for people experiencing trauma or illness, seeking personal development, or struggling to deal with the day-to-day acts of living. The practice of art therapy, one of the psychoanalytic theories of Namberg and Kramer, is based on the idea that the deepest emotions exist within the unconscious mind in the form of images, not words. So for children with art therapy, they really don't have the emotional maturity to express how they're feeling. So art therapy is a good technique to use with them. It provides them the opportunity to express themselves. In art therapy, children can draw, paint, color, sculpt, basically anything that tells a story. Then how art therapy works is based on their drawing or their picture, the therapist and the child talk about, the image. This allows the client to explore their feelings, foster self-awareness, develop social skills, reduce anxiety, and increase self-esteem. So now I'm going to show a video.
Trust uses art therapy as a way of helping children and young people cope with long-term medical conditions. We know that these conditions can cause anxiety, anger, or upset for children and families, and art therapy offers a safe space for children and young people to express and deal with difficult feelings using non-verbal communication, helping them feel more in control and to cope with their condition. With the guidance of an art therapist, art therapy is used to help young people who have a wide range of chronic illnesses and physical disabilities to adjust and adapt to their medication and new lifestyle. Being in the creative process often leads to being able to share worries in ways previously not possible, helping children gain confidence, feel more in control and cope with their condition. Art therapy helps children to adjust and adapt to their illness and build the resilience to cope with the emotional strain that often accompanies it. Art therapy works particularly well with children who find it difficult to express themselves verbally and can create transformational change in a child's life. All little teapots are special, and it is our aim at the Teapot Trust to help ensure that when they're ill and receiving the treatment they need, they don't get any more steamed up than they have to.
Alright, so now we're going to do another activity. Take out a plain piece of paper and you're going to divide that paper in half. Just fold it in half. This activity is called Mom House, Dad House. And on one half of the paper, you're going to draw a picture of Mom's house.
You started?
Yes. And then on the second half of the paper, you're going to draw a picture of Dad's house. So next what we're going to do is kind of pair up, exchange your pictures. And just kind of act as one person is the client and one person is the therapist. And just kind of try to interpret the drawing.
Wait a minute. What now?
Okay.
I'm the therapist,
You're the therapist, and
and
he's the client.
I'm what I see.
You have to try to interpret his drawing for him. Just kind of talk about it.
Well, what I see more so like comparing his to mine.
No, y'all just discuss it kind of together. And
Okay. He would say the homes are equal to me
Yeah, that's
because they're pretty much similar. You know what I'm saying? One doesn't look, like you try to make that one look like a crappy home and yours a happy home. Mommy and daddy home is equal, is what I see. Like you're probably secure.
I see sunshine on this house.
That's mommy's house. It's raining.
Rain over there. There's sunshine in the fire.
Mommy has a happy home. Okay, ooh. I think she went futuristic over here.
Can we see?
Mommy look like she lives in the house of the Jeffersons. Mommy has a happy home. Futuristic. Daddy, you look like he's back in Goldilocks time. Got a little trail. I don't know. Like he's unreal. He's not real. Does Daddy, did he exist? Does he exist?
Listen,
I did.
I didn't get a chance to color. Dad's house is bigger. He has grass. He has trees. Mom lives in something like a little trailer. I didn't finish coloring. But had I finished it, I'm not a good drawer. I would have made the bricks look more like bricks. That's what's supposed to be bricks. And his house is bigger. He has grass, he has trees, it's manicured. And Mom, she just lives in like a little trailer.
Okay. All righty.
did you want to interpret the next?
The next one.
What'd you see?
And this I see. Mom is
Bearing Beverly.
which is Mom.
Right here.
Mom's doing very well. Dad is
That's a dog.
like
He live with a dog.
crawling. It's like crawling.
So, based off of the video, these are just a few examples of the activities that people do in art therapy: coloring, painting, finger painting, doodling, scribbling, sculpting, drawing, using molding clay, carving, pottery. And these are a couple of activities, like the mom-dad house drawing, draw or paint your emotions, the emotion wheel, which is the example on the picture, design a postcard, which is you will write on a postcard a message to someone that you've hurt or offended or you've been hurt by, but you will actually never send the postcard. You can attach a message to a balloon or do a collage. Okay, interpretation of colors. Whenever you do art therapy, whether it's through painting or coloring, doodling, whatever, every color has a meaning behind it. And the next two slides will basically just show what some of the colors mean. For instance, red, aggression, courage, love; orange, happiness, joy, energy; yellow, laughter, power, sunshine; gray, mourning, depression, illness; green, sympathy, security, friendship; blue, depression, sadness, peace; purple, anxiety, grief, wisdom, spirituality; black, death, mourning, danger, and mystery. There are several potential benefits to focusing on color during art therapy. Through the use of color, the client can release a variety of emotions and moods that normally they can't express verbally, so they try to do it through art. It shows their emotions such as anger and happiness, and it can symbolize hurt and despair. A drawing contains various color-related elements that are believed to reveal the client's emotional status at the time of its creation. Many researchers have found that people in different emotional states choose and interact with colors in different ways. Emotionally well-adjusted individuals respond to color openly, whereas people who are more emotionally inhibited eschew color when possible. Outgoing people gravitate to warm, invigorating colors like red and orange, whereas introverts are drawn to cooler, calming colors like blue and green. So, next thing I'm going to have you all do is watch another video.
How do I evaluate either literally a painting that somebody's done or their drawing? Is to know, first of all, that every color has meaning. Like purple's a spiritual color, red is a color of emotion, yellow is energy, and so forth. So the colors carry meaning. Now, how does that help? If somebody draws chemotherapy as yellow energy flowing right to their cancer, they know intuitively this is good for them. And somebody else drew the devil giving me poison, okay? So it's fairly clear how much trouble they're going to have with that same treatment. Also, the past, present, and future are in the picture. And the different quadrants, like if I were looking at the page, the upper right is the present, the near future or recent past, the distant past, and the far future, or death concept. And so what people put in those quadrants says something to me. And I can relate to that, you know, because if somebody said, where am I going to be next year, and they put that in the upper left, I'd say, that's where you're headed. Say, Jung put it this way: the future is unconsciously prepared long in advance, and therefore can be guessed by clairvoyance. So, you know, the mystic is reading your consciousness and what you're producing, and it also appears in those drawings. Numbers, I always ask people, why do you have 5 rays of sunshine? Well, like one lady who was very depressed had 4 rays of sunshine. She said, oh, those are my 4 children. When I drew the picture for Elizabeth, she said, why is 12 important? I said, I've been doing this work 12 months. So again, the numbers, the colors, how you draw yourself, you know, to really look at and say to people, why don't you have any hands? You don't have any legs. How can you move? Oh, and you see, this is what's wonderful. There was a young man who drew his picture, and at the bottom of the page, his legs are cut off. I said, are you feeling stuck or trapped? You don't have legs. He said, turn the page over. And I turned it over, and his legs are on the other side. And you see, he's got good self-esteem. He doesn't fit on one page. And that's what's so wonderful. I like to give written instructions so people can't say, that's not what you told me, and find excuses. I mean, they had the instructions in front of them. For instance, a male engineer, you ask him to draw a picture. He handed me a full page of instructions, all written out on how to draw the picture he was supposed to draw. See, that's not unusual for a male engineer. If he's living in his head, you don't get a picture from him. But that had an impact on him, see. He went home and changed himself because he realized if that's my reaction to draw a picture, then I have to do something for myself. And he did. And I met his son 20 years later who saw me present that in a slide show, part of my lecture. And he was impressed and told me how much it had helped his father. So it's, again, sitting with the person. What's hard is when people email me, or mail me drawings, and I don't have them sitting next to me. So it's hard. Then I have to present them with lots of questions about what this could mean and that could mean, and to get their interpretation. A simple, so you understand what I mean. A woman came and said, I know you like drawing. She said, my mother's sister and I have breast cancer, and I have to decide whether I'm going to have a mastectomy or a lumpectomy. And I know you like pictures, so I drew this for you. She handed me a picture of a tree. Now, every branch on the tree ended flat. And my reaction was, this tree looks like it's been pruned. And she said, thank you, that means I should have a mastectomy. Now, you see, that was not me suggesting anything, just saying what she had drawn, but yet it obviously connected immediately with her consciousness and what that symbol meant to her, that she needed to, in a sense, give up a part and be pruned. So again, it's sitting with the person, going over the drawings and learning. And I even, if you're keeping a journal, I'd say draw a picture once a month of yourself and watch how it changes related to what's going on in your family and your life. Big broad shoulders being the strong one, not having arms and legs, it's amazing. And I've seen this too, because I call it psychological genetics. Mama drew a picture for me when she had cancer. 8 years later, the daughter drew a picture. They're just about identical. No head, no arms, only half a body. And what they drew, symbolizing the cancer in their immune system, was just about exactly the same. It was amazing. And neither had ever seen the other one's drawing. I mean, these were drawn by, mama and daughter in isolation, so to speak, without anybody else knowing what they had drawn. So it's all these things that we pass on to our children too, and can empower them or weaken them about life. But it comes out in these symbols and then can be worked with, because it's the patient's statement. And when I say worked with, I keep repeating, you rehearse and you practice every day to see what you can do to become the person you would like to be.
So I'm going to have you all do one more activity, the heart that you have here in front of you. What I want you to do is pick 5 crayons. Go ahead and pick out 5 crayons. For each of the colors that you pick out, I want you to attach a feeling word associated with that color. Okay. So then you're going to color your heart and then write that feeling on top of the color.
So like, say I got brown, I would say sad. Like for me, the feeling word would be sad. So I would write sad and then color. Is that it?
Color your heart.
Uh-huh.
And here, on the side,
Uh-huh.
you're going to put
Orange.
sad.
Sad.
And then keep going.
Color your whole heart.
Oh, with the same color?
5 colors
Okay, so like a section.
of how you feel. And then once again, we're going to pair up and kind of talk about your drawing.
One of my words, like you said, the word's supposed to be what now?
A feeling.
A feeling? Well, may not be a feeling word, but I'm using it in that sense.
These 5 words.
Crayon. Yeah, each color represents how you feel, a feeling.
Yeah.
Do I put the color in?
With your crayon.
Okay, so just
Okay.
partner up and kind of explain.
Yeah.
Therapist.
Okay. Well, I think the colors show a range of equality. I mean, like it's like balance, because he has just as much of a happy as he does a sad. Is that how we do it?
Mm-hmm.
I think the least one, which is brown. Let me put that.
This one.
I could say.
That was a slow one.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, love is the smallest. No. but for all of them, though, you to me, you know, you can see. I was trying to show my. I don't know if that's really not emotion, but I was saying like I'm growing, green, growing. I don't know, whatever. That's my thought process. You know, like you coming out of something is what I'm saying. So that's why I put depressed, and I'm growing from depression. Then kind of like yellow, I think it was happy. And then I got a little spot for blue. Just kind of.
Interpret mine.
Oh, yours. Oh.
It's grumpy, hate,
Hate and sad.
all this code.
You're negative.
Happy. I mean, happy is,
No, that's life.
and depressed is wild big. And grumpy is hate is she has hate. And sad, she's sometimes sad. It's kind of a mixture. Yeah, you can't do that, cause it's just all it is, like two things, okay? Yeah.
You only have 2 emotions.
hurt and happy, God. Every now and then I'm happy.
But it
Hurt
must,
most of the time.
well, okay.
So, can I ask a question?
Will we?
Oh,
Okay.
question at the end. Okay, I brought this in there.
Depressed.
So, as we have discussed, art therapy is used to help clients reach deep into their unconscious, releasing emotions that are not acknowledged by their conscious mind. Some colors have more of a universal meaning. Some have a cultural meaning, and most colors are just based on personal experiences and memories that are tied to specific colors. So, as a therapist, when considering a client's color choices in art therapy, it is important to take all of these factors into consideration. The therapist may guess what a color means, but it is important to talk to the client to see exactly what the color means to the client. Okay? Any questions, comments?
I think I was gonna go with, something else. Oh, with, this right here, you kinda answered though, whenever you said, ask them, because I was just wondering, you know, like with my green, you know, the reason I chose the green, because I was thinking green grass grows, and my depression grew, and then, you know, so that's why I was wondering, how do you find out what that person, but you explained it.
You ask the client. Okay? So that is my lesson on art therapy.
Another question. So is this good for, do you let the child know, like this right here, we told them kind of like do this, but can you do it without telling them and then just let them color it and then?
Interpret it.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.